everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Triple P, where we're going to be discussing budget travel in Europe, as we don't all have bags full of cash. Alright, so number one is destination planning. Where exactly in Europe is it that you want to head to? There's so many options. You can go to Northern Europe, you can go to Southern Europe, you can go to Eastern Europe, you can go to Western Europe. But if you want to stay clear of the pricey destinations, I would definitely say avoid Northern and Western Europe and focus more on the South and especially Eastern Europe. It is so underrated, but it has such fantastic culture and history, amazing foods, the people are so friendly, it is really worth your time. So for example, you could head to the beaches in Croatia. You can go island hopping. They're just beautiful sandy beaches over there. You can also head to Berat in Albania, the city of 1,000 windows. You could go to the Lake Bled in Slovenia. It's so beautiful and picturesque. Maybe even Budapest, such a happening city. And guess what? It is voted as the #1 European destination in 2019. So I'm telling you, there's just so many options that you can choose from. So don't miss out on that. So number two is seasonality. When do you go to these places? Now, summertime is the peak season. It's when everybody is flocking into Europe. So I would definitely recommend that you come before, so April, May time, or you come after in September or October. The prices are lower, there aren't as many people, and the weather is still beautiful. Last year in October, we had gone to Croatia, and at first I was a little bit worried that, the weather wouldn't be as nice, the beaches might not be as warm to swim in, but I was pleasantly surprised. It was just beautiful, scenic, tranquil, and we just had the best time. So definitely make a point to come before or after the high season. Alright, so number three is accommodation. Where are you going to stay in Europe? There's so many options these days. There's Airbnb, there are apartments, there are of course hotels, but I would say the biggest attraction about Europe for me is the hostel culture, because hostels are just plain amazing. There's so many benefits of staying at a hostel, and I think the most important one out of all of them is the social element. The fact that you get to socially network with people, you make new friends, you share stories, you meet people from all different walks of life, from different cities, and who knows, this friendship might last a lifetime. I had a very amazing experience in Denmark when I met a group of Italians from Naples. We ended up hitting it off. We spent the whole day together sightseeing, and they told me that if you're ever in Naples visiting, we would love to show you around. You're welcome to our homes, and they were just so friendly. It's definitely something that's always stuck with me. Number two, I really think that hostels are a great way to immerse yourself and participate in activities. So you might end up doing a lunch cooking with the other folks in the hostel, maybe learn a little bit about a local cuisine. You might end up going on a free walking tour, and you might end up seeing non-touristy spots. You might go on a pub crawl and enjoy yourself, see the nightlife. But there's just so much to do when you're in a hostel. The other thing that I really like about it is the fact that it has a very chilled out atmosphere. So it's not like hotels where it's a little bit prim and proper, Here it's very laid back. People end up, sitting on their computers. They might end up listening to, their iTunes. There might be other people who are just chatting away, others who are playing the guitar and singing. They're just people doing all types of stuff. So it's a very laid back, relaxed place where, they accept you for sort of who you are and what you're doing. Number three, of course, is budget. It's very budget friendly. They tend to be around 10 to 20 euros per night, so it's a great steal. I would definitely recommend that you check out Hostel World for the rankings. So I wouldn't say go for the cheapest one. Obviously see the rankings, if it's only 5 or 6, maybe not. Go for 8 or above. So that's sort of, what I would do. Alright, so coming on to number four, transportation. There are two different things that we can talk about. One is the intercity transportation, and two is public transportation. So number one, for intercity, there are so many different ways to get from one place to the other. I think Europe has the most number of options. One, you have the train, and I would definitely recommend the Eurail Pass, as it allows you to travel in and through 28 different countries on a discounted price. Number two, you have budget airlines. So you have Ryanair, you have EasyJet, Transavia, and all of these can be found on Skyscanner. So Skyscanner is my favorite website to use because of its flexibility. Alright, so with Skyscanner, you can include in the city of departure, but you can leave the destination blank. You can also be very flexible with the dates. So what will happen is it'll churn out a ranking in terms of price by all the different cities that you could visit, starting from the cheapest to the most expensive. Number 3 is by bus, and one of the bus companies that I really like is Flixbus. They tend to have really cheap options. The Flixbus in itself is very comfy. It has a bathroom in it. It looks spotless clean. It even has Wi-Fi. So I would definitely recommend Flixbus if you have some time on your hands. Alright, so when we're talking about getting around within the city, a big no-no in Europe is to take a car or a taxi. No, no, and no. A lot of the European cities have a awesome public transportation system, which means you can take trams, you can take buses, you can take the subway for very cheap prices, and you can get around to nearly all places. It's very interconnected. A lot of cities are so tight-knit that you might not even need to get a public transportation pass because you can walk most of the places. So do a little bit of research before you head to your city and see whether you really need a pass or whether you can actually walk it. So coming to our last and final point, food, drinks, and attractions. So guys, when it comes to food, don't go and eat at the tourist spots. It's a big no-no. Right at the city center, there's a good chance that it's going to be overpriced and it's not worth your money. Why don't you instead go and find some local cafes, some local food which is going to be more budget friendly, a little bit away from the city center. There's another option of cooking your own food. So you could go to a supermarket, you can go to a fresh market and buy yourself some ingredients, go back to the hostel or Airbnb and make yourself a delicious meal. You don't need to be eating out every time. It's a great way to save on cost. Alright, so then we come to water. Now guys, you will not believe the amount of people who will pay for a bottle of water outside or buy water at a restaurant. That is not necessary. You can actually take your own water bottle, empty one of course, and fill it up outside at a public tap. Water tends to be very fresh and very safe to drink in Europe. So don't make that big mistake. They end up being €3 to €4 when you buy them, and it's a big no-no for budget travelers. Alright, when we come to the topic of attractions, there are 3 different tips that I want to tell you guys. 1, to book in advance, especially if you're going to a popular spot where there are attractions that everybody wants to see. Trust me, they're going to be booked out way in advance. They're going to hike the prices, especially during peak season. So it's definitely worth that when you've planned your trip already, so you know which city you're going to go to, and there's something in particular that you want to see, book it off right away. Number 2 is go for a free walking tour. It is free, I mean, in the sense that you can tip the person the amount that they think they deserve. So it could be €2, €5, but a very budget-friendly option. It's a great way to get a feel of the city, to get the bigger picture of it, to talk to the local guide about any questions that you might have. And I think it's one of the things that I love to do when I first come to a new place. Some of the other alternatives is to sort of look at unusual, unique things to do that might not cost as much. So for example, I just recently did a video on street art in Munich. So it's something that doesn't cost you anything. You can go to those places, take some great Instagram photos, learn a little bit about the place, see something a little bit unique, and in the end you get to save a lot of money. You might want to go to more nature-based places. So for example, I'm talking about beaches, about parks, about rivers, lakes. They tend to be very beautiful, but at the same time they don't cost you much to enter. Most of them don't have an entrance fee. So think really about the type of attractions that you want to go to if you're going on a budget-friendly trip. That takes us to the end of the video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and you learned something new about budget travel in Europe. Do feel free to leave me any questions below. I would be happy to answer them, and I will see you guys next time.